who begins with the strength of high aspiration is born into the clan of the Buddhas. For the others, acquiring the conviction that dharmas do not arise would be the clan of the Buddha, for it is then that the bodhisattva acquires a partial influx of the knowledge of all the aspects. Compare this stage with the Gotrab Bhumi in the Sravaka system. 9. Sutra. The excellence of the entourage. The Bodhisattva-mahasattva has an entourage consisting only of bodhisattvas. Sastra. Those who surround the bodhisattva of the ninth ground are wise men, good men who, from lifetime to lifetime, have accumulated merit. In the present passage, the Buddha himself says that the entourage is composed solely of bodhisattvas. Thus, it is said in the Pokayo Suryi King Asintya Sutra, or Gandhavayaha, that Kyupaya was a great bodhisattva. The whole entourage is in the level of the non-regressing bodhisattvas. These bodhisattvas, by the magical power of the concentration of means, change into men or women and together form the entourage of the bodhisattva of the ninth ground. They are like the treasure jewel of a Chakravartin king. He is a yaksa or an asura, but he takes the form of a man in order to work with men. 10. Sutra. The excellence of departure. The bodhisattva leaving the world goes forth from home with innumerable hundreds of thousands of millions of beings, and these beings are predestined to the three vehicles. Sastra. Thus one night in his palace, the bodhisattva Sakyamuni saw that his courtesans were like corpses. The devas and the asuras of the 10 directions, bearing banners and flowers, came to offer them to him and, bearing themselves respectfully on meeting him, escorted him outside. Then Tchoni, despite the orders he had previously received from King Tsingfan, acceded to the wishes of the bodhisattva and brought him his horse Kantaka. The 4 kings, messengers of the gods, held the horse's hoofs in their hands while it leaped over the ramparts and left the city. It is to destroy the passions and Mara in person that the bodhisattva, before all the beings, in this way demonstrated his dislike for the householder life, for, if an individual as meritorious and noble as he is abandoning his home, what should ordinary people not do? Episodes of this kind illustrate the excellence of the departure. 11. Sutra. The excellence of the splendor of the tree of enlightenment. The root of the tree of enlightenment is of gold. Its trunk, branches, and leaves are made of the 7 jewels. The brilliance of the trunk, branches, and leaves illumines, in each of the 10 directions, incalculable trisahasra mahasahasra lokadatas. Sastra. For the ornamentation of the tree of enlightenment, see above. In the present passage, the Buddha himself says that the root of this tree is made of gold. Its trunk, branches, and leaves are made of the 7 jewels, and the brilliance of the trunk, branches, and leaves illumines innumerable incalculable Buddha universes in each of the 10 directions. Some Buddhas adorn the Buddha tree with the 7 jewels of the Bodhisattva, but sometimes this is not the case. Why? Because the magical power of the Buddhas is inconceivable. It is for beings that they manifest all kinds of splendors. 12. Sutra. Excellence in the complete accomplishment of all the qualities. In the Bodhisattva, this is the ripening of beings and the complete purification of the Buddha field. These, O Subhuti, are the 12 dharmas which the Bodhisattva-mahasattva in the 9th ground must fulfill completely. Sastra. In the 7th ground, the Bodhisattva destroys all the passions and thus assures his own interest. That is the excellence of one's own interest. In the 8th and 9th ground, he assures the interest of others insofar as he ripens beings and purifies completely his Buddha field. In respect to the depth and breadth of the 2 interests thus assured, the Bodhisattva excels in the accomplishment of all the qualities. The Arhats and pratykebuddhas assure their own interest greatly but neglect the interest of others. Therefore they are not complete. The Devas and the minor Bodhisattvas are useful to others but have not destroyed their own passions. Therefore they too are not complete. The great Bodhisattvas alone have fulfilled completely all the qualities. Bhumi 10. Sutra. Furthermore, O Subhuti, the Bodhisattva on the 10th ground should simply be called Tathagata. Why should the Bodhisattva on the 10th ground be called simply Tathagata? When he completely fulfills the 6 perfections. When he completely fulfills the 4 foundations of mindfulness up to and including the 18 special attributes of the Buddhas. When he completely fulfills the knowledge of all the aspects and when he destroys all the passions and their traces, the Bodhisattva-mahasattva in the 10th ground should be called simply Tathagata. Now, O Subhuti, the Bodhisattva-mahasattva on the 10th ground who, by his skillful means, is practicing the 6 perfections as well as the 4 foundations of mindfulness up to including the 18 special attributes of the Buddha, this Bodhisattva, I say, exceeds 1. The ground of the dry view. 2. The ground of the spiritual lineage. 3. The ground of the 8th saint. 4. The ground of seeing. 5. The ground of the diminution of the passions. 6. The ground of the saint freed from desire. 7. The ground of the saint who has done what had to be done. 8. The grounds of the pratykebuddha. 9. The grounds of the Bodhisattva. Having exceeded these 9 levels, the Bodhisattva is established in the ground of the Buddhas. This is the 10th ground of the Bodhisattva. Therefore, O Subhuti, the Bodhisattva-mahasattva has set off well for the great vehicle. Sutra. The Bodhisattva seated under the tree of enlightenment penetrates into the 10th ground called the ground of the cloud of Dharma. Like a great cloud uninterruptedly pouring out torrential rain, the Bodhisattva's mind produces by itself, from moment to moment and infinite in number, immense, infinite and very pure Buddha attributes. Then, noticing that the mind of Mara, king of the desire realm, has not yet been tamed, the Bodhisattva-mahasattva shoots forth light from his urna so that Mara's palaces, 10 million in number, become darkened and disappear. Mara, irritated and vexed, gathers his troops and comes to attack the Bodhisattva. After the Bodhisattva has vanquished Mara, the Buddhas of the 10 directions congratulate him for his deeds. They emit rays from their urnas which penetrate into the Bodhisattva through the top of his head. At this moment, the merits acquired by the Bodhisattva in the 10 grounds are changed into Buddha attributes. The Bodhisattva destroys all the traces of the passions, obtains the unfailing deliverances and acquires the 10 powers, the 4 fearlessnesses, the 4 unhindered knowledges, the 18 special attributes, great loving kindness, great compassion, and the other Buddha attributes, immense and infinite. At this moment, the earth trembles in 6 ways. Heaven rains down flowers and perfumes. The Bodhisattvas, Devas, and Manusiyas, joining their palms, utter praises. At this moment, the Bodhisattva emits a great brilliance that illumines the innumerable universes everywhere in the 10 directions. The Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Devas and Manusiyas of the 10 directions proclaim in a loud voice that in that place, in that land and in that year the Bodhisattva, seated on the seat of enlightenment has realized Buddhahood and that this light is his. Thus, in the 10th ground, the Bodhisattva should be recognized as Buddha. Moreover, in the present passage, the Buddha has specified the characteristics of the 10th ground by saying, by practicing the 6 perfections and by his skillful means, the Bodhisattva has exceeded the 9 shared grounds from the level of dry vision up to and including the Bodhisattva grounds and is now in the ground of the Buddhas. This ground of the Buddhas is the 10th ground. The Bodhisattva who thus travels through the 10 grounds is said to be well set out on the great vehicle. End Volume 20, Second Series Setting Out on the Mahāyāna.